It's the year of Elmo. Welcome to Neighborhood Watch. We've got a full house today. I'm your host, Michael Giannis. Let's go around the horn, introduce ourselves. First up, you'll remember him from episode 1. Jared, how you doing?
Doing good. Still educated. More so than last time, I think.
Yeah, no, it's getting to us. We're learning. We're learning about letters and numbers.
Mhm.
I don't know if I can say the same about our next guest, Russ. How about you?
Please call me Russell.
Russell. Okay, that's good. And a new guest for episode 4, we have Danielle here. How you doing?
Good, I'm good.
Awesome. All right. So let's get right to it. Episode 123. Here comes Cookie Monster. This one was this is the shortest gap we've had. This is only like 8 episodes after the last one we did. This one was in April 29th, 1970.
Oh,
So we're slowly creeping up on modern times.
we're catching up here.
Yeah. Same opening. We still got the Clay guys. We're starting to learn the characters' names. That's making me happy. We're getting attached to them.
I mean, I'm sorry to kind of speak for yourself here. I I can differentiate Bert and Ernie. But that's about it. I mean, some of the like Cookie Monster didn't have a name until this episode.
Sure.
I don't think that they've really established their identities yet. You know, like
Yeah.
we still haven't seen a green Grouch or many of the things that are, like, in my eyes, iconic of Sesame Street.
Yeah. But I'm speaking more towards like the human characters. Like
Okay.
Russ, you knew the ice cream guy, Mr. Hooper.
Yeah, fucking.
You were not a fan of him in his first appearance. What did you think of him here?
Well, I think, in a way, he's sort of become better.
Yeah?
He is improved as an individual.
Yeah, he doesn't have an ice cream shop anymore. He had it opened the first scene of the show. He was cleaning out his boxes of like toy musical instruments.
He's funding the arts.
Yeah, that's good. He had a bunch of like toy trumpets and toy flutes and
He
toy
had one
harmonicas.
toy flute.
One toy
Thank
flute.
you.
Right?
Buy
One.
more.
Thank you very much.
He needed more. The toy flute does make an appearance later, in one of my favorite gags. And then we go to Gordon and Cookie Monster in the next scene. Still not named Cookie Monster at that point.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's where the toy flute. We've got a lot of wraparounds in this one because we've got Ernie comes along, and Gordon has set like a trap for Ernie's imagination.
See, I think this is where the overlap with Star Trek comes in.
The classic. Yeah.
Yeah, are you familiar with the
time.
Prime Directive?
Sure, yeah.
Will you please?
You don't.
Would you fill us in?
Will you fill us in, please?
If I remember correctly, it's you don't interfere with developing like species or planets or something.
Yeah, exactly. And what did Gordon do?
Are you claiming that Sesame Street is like a developing planet?
I'm saying that it's like a developing Roddenberry.
I mean, I don't think. Well, I mean, what makes Gordon like Gordon's part of it?
Okay, what does he do
He
in this scene?
in this scene, Gordon lays out for Ernie a bunch of like common sense cause and effect scenarios.
No, what does he do with the fucking Cookie Monster?
Oh, he says, "Hey, when I ring this bell, Cookie Monster, I'm gonna give you cookies."
Yeah, he's trying to train him as if his native culture isn't good enough.
Well, no, they're working together.
Are they?
Against the common enemy, the Borg.
See,
Ernie.
I think Gordon is racist. This is an allegory. Gordon is the white man. Cookie Monster is the African.
Wait, Gordon is the white man?
Yes, that's what I said.
So he sets up this little prank on Cookie Monster, and it goes according to plan. But the scene doesn't end there, you see. Ernie doesn't learn often, which is something that we've learned that Ernie's not very good at picking up on patterns. But he does on this one, and so he's gonna play this trick on his friend Bert a little later in the episode.
Quote unquote friend.
Right. Then we're cut to the animation with the bear and the bees and the hive.
It's good. It's quality. The bear counts some bees going into a hive, drums on their hive for a little bit, gets stung, does it all over again a little bit later. Does not learn.
Yeah, this is not the only animation short that is shown twice in this episode.
Like all
Rest
of them
in
were
peace.
shown by-
Yeah, seriously. Can I get some? I want to, Danielle. This is your first experience with these sort of abstract. This is probably the most straightforward animation. But what did you think of like the style that they had going?
Of the bear.
Yeah, this bear animation.
I thought it was catchy. I liked this song.
Okay, that was all right. You know, most songs. I'm getting a little tired of most songs having some sort of counting component involved.
We're supposed
1,
to
2,
be
3,
learning.
4,
Michael.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Well, that
That
one's
will be
good.
with me forever.
That one's good. That one and pinball are good. But this one, just counting bees, like there was not the point. Find another, make it about honey, make it about like bees. Well, just something other than counting.
Every real Sesame Street fan around here knows everything. Every album after Pinball and 12 are terrible.
Yeah, no, they lost it's
The
sold
band
out.
broke up.
All right, so then we're back with Ernie and Bert. He's gonna play the prank, but he makes a key error. What was the key error?
No, wait, I don't understand what went wrong, right?
He gave the cookies before.
Okay.
He should have dangled that out in front as a reward.
I got you.
But instead, you see now. Okay, so Russ, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right about this because the way that like Cookie Monster interacts with the cookies as his reward.
Yeah, these fucking Pavlovian imperialist capitalist fucking fascists.
Yeah.
Wait, is it imperialist or capitalist?
It's all. They're
It's
all.
everything. It's also fascist. And
Capitalism, imperialism, and fascism are all synonymous.
Sexist and racist.
Yes. That's what a calorie is.
Takes $1 to raise the temperature of water 1 degree.
Yeah.
That's what we should base money on. The
Global
amount
warming.
of the amount of energy you can purchase with $1 should be. Well,
Yeah,
after this, Gordon is so good with animals. I love it. It's among my favorite like live action things that they can do. Gordon with an animal. This time it's a what is it? A Coramar.
I thought it was an anteater.
I did. Well, yeah.
I thought it was like a.
Can we get some on air research? What was this animal?
I got this.
Okay, thanks, Russ. In any case, the kids in this scene, not
dickheads. Absolute dickheads. No, every single thing that Gordon says, they're immediately like, no, that's not right. He's like, you see, it's got a long nose. Like, no, it's got a short nose. You're wrong.
It's like the kids they've just learned the concept of lying, so they're just saying
Animal
the
is the
opposite.
drummer.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
You asked me to look up the animal.
This was episode 123. Episode 122, they learned about white lies and how to properly.
How to manipulate reality.
Oh my god, they're just wizards when it comes down to it.
We'll get to some of them more.
Don't worry about that right now.
Gordon describes this animal as well as swinging.
That's his favorite. He likes that. Swinging.
Gordon's the best. God, I love Gordon.
You were skeptical in the first episode, if I recall.
I was, yeah. It was a little stilted. It was a little. There's a
You
little
think
green.
that reveals your racism that you aren't even aware of?
Yeah.
We're all a little racist.
Inherent bias against mutton chops.
Gordon's also good at like as the scene goes on, and as he realizes the kids are just screwing with him. He just lies back to him. He's like, "Oh yeah, I came from South Africa. I brought him with
He
me."
did not.
Yeah, they call him on that too.
Yeah, the kids are
Literally
fucking
everything.
incredulous.
No, you didn't. Fuck you, Gordon. You shit ass mutton chops.
Those kids do not make a return.
They don't. Their contract was terminated.
They're going home with their parents early.
What did we tell you about? what, what did we talk about earlier? I'm not supposed to mess with Gordon. You're not supposed to mess with Gordon.
Then we get a video of a baby reindeer next.
It was so out of nowhere. Like I
Everything's
think
out of nowhere.
I think the kids were supposed to somehow lead in like animals are cool, and he's like they sure are. But what happened was like it's like they were denying everything he said. It's like, well, no, it's a short nose, and so he's like, all right, what? See that baby reindeer? No.
No.
And they cut to video of like a baby reindeer walking with its mom, and yeah, I don't know, like it seemed very like that was in the script, and they were expecting something to transition to it well, and nothing did.
Yeah, that's a lot of this stuff actually.
Are the children paid or is this volunteer?
They're probably paid. They'd have to be, right? I don't know. It was 1970. I don't.
Look, the fame of being one of the kids on Sesame Street pays for itself. All right, you got offers coming in left and right after that gig.
That's what they say, man. But
hey, you're that kid that gave Gordon a hard time.
You can't buy this kind of exposure.
I think it's like the 20th century coal mines.
Oh my God! Every kid's got mandatory time on Sesame Street.
Yeah, these kids look happy, but then in 20 years they all have like black lung and like hunched over. They can count to 10. Nothing past that though.
Count to 10 all day long.
After that, Big Bird, he's given us a number, a list of numbers 1 through 10, but he forgot 3. He forgot the number 3. He forgot a single number, that being the digit 3.
Michael, you feeling all right?
Yeah, I'm great.
You want to sit down for a sec? Well, here, I'll take over. So Big Bird forgot the digit that... Shit. Russ, can you...
He forgot 3. It's not that complicated.
No, but that's
so he forgot
implying...
3 of the he forgot which 3.
Which 3 numbers did he forget?
Imperialism, fascism, and capitalism. But Sesame Street managed to bring him back and jam him back in there, motherfucker.
God. Very, very violent, Russ. Very,
No, I'm for peace, man. This is a peaceful demonstration.
Your podcast is not... I'm pretty sure the First Amendment does not cover podcasts.
It actually specifically excludes them.
Yeah.
So... Yeah.
Shit.
Ernie's gonna save the day because he knows how to draw the number 3. Supposedly, you would think this would be a simple transition of just Ernie's supposed to draw us a number 3, but he doesn't know how. He's drawing a llama instead.
One of my favorite parts.
And Bert, again with the theme of like people are being assholes in Sesame Street today, Bert comes up and shoots down Ernie hardcore. Like
Yep.
I don't remember the exact words, but it was something along the lines of that is the worst llama I have ever seen in my life. I've seen a million llamas.
Could
Says
draw
Bert.
a better llama.
My sister could draw a better
That's
llama.
sexist.
That's pretty fucked up. And he's making all these allegations of Ernie's llama being just the worst. And I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. It was better than what I could have drawn, if I'm honest.
Kind of looked like Bert. Honestly.
There's these projecting onto the...
Maybe that's why Bert's sister could draw it so well. She's a llama.
Jeez. They keep it a secret. So Ernie decides, well, takes one to know one. We'll consult a llama and see if he agrees. And so they cut to a video of this llama sneering, just
A zoomed in llama.
very close up of Ernie, like, so llama, how's this look? And the llama makes like a face, and he's like, oh, I guess it wasn't good. And Ernie's kind of slowly being shot down by this llama.
I felt bad for Ernie in this one because like most of the things that Ernie does are like the ridicule he gets from Bert is warranted. in this case, if I were to come up with a list of 10 things that drawing possibly was, I think llama would be on that list.
What else is on that list, Michael?
Maybe like a pin-headed giraffe.
Okay.
Bert's sister.
oh, that's mean.
Yeah.
That's okay.
After that, we go to the 3 animation. Because Ernie's gonna try his best to draw this 3 this time. He's gonna get it. So he just summons up this animation of a 3.
and the thing is, Bert and Ernie react to it.
Yeah, they can see it. It's like this is the first time that they've ever acknowledged that these things exist.
Yeah, I definitely liked that. Like they're building this continuum of that on Sesame Street. The animations exist, and later on, Gordon talks about that a little bit. But I think we'll wait for that to.
Yeah, and this is the most egregious example of repeated animation because it's essentially just Ernie wasn't paying attention, so they say we're gonna watch it again.
Yeah. they watch the animation on how to on a 3, and so they go and Ernie goes, I get it, and he starts to draw. And Bert's face is it's judgmental at best and mean-spirited at worst.
I love
Bert-
that he looks at the camera when Ernie does something stupid.
Oh, that's good. It's like it's The Office before The
Yep.
Office was The Office.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something, and so Ernie's 3 ends up being what looks like a ball of hair, just a bunch of random squiggles, and so Bert decides they watch it again, and when we come back, Ernie says, I get it now, and he draws again, and we realize he was not drawing a 3, but in fact a tree.
A tree, get it?
Oh, Ernie, charismatic dog. He and Bert at this point, feeling defeated, assumedly. He's I don't know how. That's pretty devastating. Finding out that what you thought was a 3 was in fact a tree. I don't know how I'd handle it.
Yeah, no, this is another example of I feel like Bert's being pretty hard on Ernie. Like as much as I love Bert, like come on, give him a shot.
Yeah, Bert. I'm not a big Bert guy. Bert is, in my eyes, mean-spirited,
Hitler.
judgmental, breaking the fourth wall. There's a lot of I don't
Bert
know.
was my favorite.
Then we get the Bear and the Bees animation again.
Again, I'm gonna reiterate that it was the second time that happened.
Same episode. Same. Okay. Then we start to make a transition into the R segment. R becomes a constant theme through this stuff. Because we go to Mr. Hooper again. He's handed out. What is he handing out to the kids? He's in a
Jelly
shop.
A singular jelly bean per kid.
That is the most old-fashioned.
Old person.
That is.
You want a jelly bean? Like it's like no, like and he's pointing out something that's going on above them supposedly, but being that they're child actors, I don't think they caught onto that. So he's like, look at the airplane in the sky, and the kids are kind of looking every which way. And so he ends up saying, let's look up now.
Let's look up now, kids. Enjoy your jelly bean.
Why? Just keep looking at the river. Just
the Skywriter does the classic. You think he's drawing an L? You think he's drawing a P? He's drawing an R. It's a good.
goof.
Yeah, I like it. And then we go to Bert and Ernie again. Another Bert shaming Ernie for something. This one has a twist because Ernie's explaining that he's got an R collection. It's a box full of like letter R's that he's collected from famous R things.
Then I got this one from Little Red Riding Hood.
That was a little surreal because he's like naming like real things.
Yeah,
like,
real life allegory.
Yeah. Disrespecting that fourth wall again.
I'm just saying, they're merging in our two worlds.
You mean like a gradual merge, or
No,
are
I'm
they-
saying Sesame
like
Street
an
has been.
Aladdin merge.
There's only one thing. It's just going through. Just fucking air convection current. Head falls through. Butter belly and melon womb to sofa cushions. Into sculpting
You're-
clouds into Roman emperors, Greek gods, football scrimmages, cavalry charges. Are we supposed to listen to this?
Are you? What?
Ernie's got this collection.
I'll walk you through this step by step.
No, please, Ernie, Michael, to keep talking.
Ernie.
Ernie's got the collection of R's in the box, and Bert's like, "You cannot." He goes on this like minute-long screed of, "You need to be ashamed of your box. You need to."
If people find out you've been collecting the R's, you're gonna be the laughing stock of Sesame Street.
He's gonna be ridiculed out of the street. But Ernie goes ahead and tosses them, gets rid of the stuff inside, so he's only got an empty box left. Poor Ernie.
Hence his ways.
Yep. He's ready to become a new man just for his close friend Bert, because he thinks that Bert's got his well-being in mind, but Bert has an ulterior motive. He takes the empty box from Ernie for his J collection. Can you believe this? How can you defend Danielle? How can you defend Bert after this act?
Oh,
You can't.
shut
You
up,
can't
Michael.
defend Bert.
Bert advocate from day one
I
talking
like
here.
It's
There's
such
no
an
defending
evil.
Bert.
Oh, it's so mean.
But why J's? Because they don't even talk about J's. The next letter is V. They don't.
Yeah, that was a missed opportunity, definitely.
Yep.
The sponsors of this episode are BN3. Another missed product placement opportunity. Bert sucks. Where's the worst?
You suck.
Bert. Whoa.
Guys, let's calm down with the harsh language here. This is an open environment for learning.
This is a non-fascist area only.
Now you want to talk about in the next scene, Big Bird meets a new friend. This collection of skits is very concerning, considering
It just
Big
gets
Bird's-
worse from here. It's
Yeah.
more creepy.
it's if you've ever seen, there's these series of videos on the internet. Don't hug me, I'm scared. And it starts out almost Sesame Street like, where it's puppets and they're talking about something educational, and it very slowly turns into very, very Kafka-esque horror, where it's very intense and very disturbing imagery. This skit, Big Bird sees a little letter R, like a lowercase R, that like pops down, and it's his little friend, and they're talking, and he sketches them, and so Gordon and Mr. Hopper, Mr. Pooper comes out, and they're talking, and they go, Big Bird, what have you drawn there? And he goes, it's a sketch of my little friend. My friend R came by, and so Gordon and the ice cream man assume that Big Bird is crazy, that everything he's saying here is nonsense. There's no R. That doesn't make sense. And so
Not a letter.
Big Bird tries very, very hard to convince them that this actually happened. He's not crazy. What he saw was real. But to no avail. So they go back in the shop, and the little R comes back alongside his big friend, his big brother, the big R. And, they go through the whole thing again, where Big Bird sketches them, yada yada. Finally, Gordon and the ice cream man come back out. and Gordon says something. I think the exact words were, I've seen a lot of things on Sesame Street. I've seen jump ropes and seesaws. There are no dancing R's or letters on this street. And and going back to this whole Prime Directive thing, I really think this is it has ominous at best implications for Sesame Street, where it's like it's creating this weird continuum of, I really don't know how to describe it. It's very like
it's the bolt that shatters structure.
Right. I'm sorry, I haven't even revealed the shocking part yet. And that's when Big Bird goes, oh yeah, what about this? And the R's come right back in front of Gordon and Mr. Hooper. And Gordon and the ice cream man share this look of pure shock and what have we been missing this entire time?
Right, because this means 123 episodes in. This is the first glimpse of like the surreal reality that they live in. This is their first encounter with animated R's.
So, and that makes me think if they've never seen animation before, like while the puppets can see the animation, like with Bert and Ernie, can the humans not?
Yeah, that's concerning too, because like, does that mean that we're puppets?
What does this imply for the viewer?
It's it's an important scene. I think we're gonna be able to mark this one down in the
history books.
Yeah, it's gonna be very important.
It's very I'm getting like a Five Nights at Freddy's feel from this here. Am I a puppet?
After that is the ABC song "Girl" animation thing.
I also like that one. That was also fun.
I like this one a lot more than the Bear and the Bees because I think it's got a lot more character.
Says ABCD. Don't dance. Could you explain this so that makes sense what I just said?
So it's just a drawing of a girl on the screen, and then she's like dancing around the letters as they appear on screen. And then this voice, this deep voice that comes from nothing in particular, is giving her commands on how to do it properly. And they're all like, they're not fun commands, that's for sure.
She doesn't listen though.
She does. She completely
Like
disregards
the other
it too.
kids.
Oh, I see. Do
Uh-huh.
you think like that happened with the other kids, and they're like, all right, we got to keep this going now. Kids are disrespectful on Sesame Street.
But then what are kids learning? The kids that are watching this. It's like,
They aren't learning anything. That's the point. This is just fucking propaganda. I think if the kids want to get anywhere in life, they need to detach themselves tenderly, aesthetically, harmoniously from the fake prop studio of the Empire game and do nothing
What
but
are
guard
you
and glorify
reading
the
from?
light.
This is a fucking Russell Mad Lib. Just fill in the blank.
He's actually got a paper of Mad Libs down there right now.
We are
That he's-
This is your second appearance, and you're already a caricature of yourself.
Whole world's
I need a noun, fascism. Yeah, no, and so she's dancing and singing the alphabet, and like slowly the voice kind of gets more accepting. Like at first, like don't dance, and she just kind of keeps going. Near the end, it was like, no, okay, you're going too slow. All right, that's right, good job. Like, solid performance here.
It's endearing though, because she has fun all the way through, even though this jerk voice is like trying to end her fun.
I think it's pretty representative of like little kids, what they're going through, where it's like their parents make them take dance lessons or do soccer or something like that,
Yeah.
play piano, where it's like that's what a kid finds on the receiving end. They're doing their thing, they're having fun, they're having that sense of childlike wonder when some ominous, super deep voice, the patriarchy, comes in and says, "Don't dance," It's restricting them.
Yeah. And Sesame Street, I still believe is in rebellion to that.
Mhm.
Whatever
But
Russ
is
says.
it restricting them like a what's that snake? A boa constrictor? Is that a snake?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No?
No? Is it constricting them like a snake or like a safety belt?
Oh.
Oh, what if a safety belt is a snake?
Well,
that's
that's
the
the risk you
closest.
take with the Vanguard Party.
Yeah.
That's the shittiest Catch-22 ever. That was in the deleted epilogue of Catch-22. He gets in a car and the seatbelt is a snake. He's like, oh, what a story.
Guess this is what I am now.
My life is a farce. It's a bad book. Okay. The next bit is the most important thing that's happened yet. It's the return of the glasses, of the magical noise glasses.
Of the most powerful artifact existent in Sesame Street lore.
When I declared that in the previous episode, I did not anticipate these things making an appearance, let alone in the very next episode.
No, that's not what I said.
I was so pleased.
It's very good. I'm I'm definitely excited for this prospect of they're building a lore.
Yeah.
Oh, and then okay, so they're sound-based glasses, right? When he hears the sound, he puts the glasses on, and the thing appears.
Now wait, we need to nail this down. Because there are a couple different skews of what is happening when he puts these on. I think we need to. I'm gonna call for something unprecedented.
Okay.
I think we need to watch this again. We need to skip to that part, and we need to break this down on air. Examine it. We need to pause it. We need to point to different things that are happening. So let's all pull that up right now. All right, so here we go. We've got the new kid. He's walking with his mother, and he's got. Okay, so he's got the glasses.
His name's Chris, by the way.
Chris. Okay. Okay, so he hears the sound. He puts them on.
Mm-hmm.
And then it fades in. The thing that is making the noise fades in. In this case, it's a jackhammer.
So it's not that he looks up, like it's not like it's revealing a thing that was there, because if it were, it would you would be able to, like, for instance, look like one eye through the glasses, one eye not, and see the thing through that eye, like as it goes.
Now I think we need to pay attention to the background too, because we need to because what could be happening is the glasses transport him to like another like dimension in which the sound exists. You know, a parallel universe.
Is it only him that can't see the sound? Because like everyone else is acting normal. You know what I mean?
This will be a good one to test because there's two people that he creates in this one.
You're right. But like the mom with the baby, like she wouldn't just have an empty carriage.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So maybe the things do exist and he just can't see them.
Who's to say that the carriage is actually there?
Well, he saw that before, though. Okay, so now we've got the car and the car horn. That's pretty simple. He takes them off at the end there, but the sound continues. That's interesting.
I think the important thing is, at the very end, it redubs itself. It goes through all the sounds again, but with the sounds being made by Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just his imagination.
It's only ever made by him.
It has. That's what I'm saying. It's implied that all the noises are in his imagination, not necessarily things that he's revealing. But
so
it's
like
so.
In a bad way?
I don't know. It's so very.
So you're saying the things exist, but the sound doesn't?
No, I think everything exists, and he's just pretending that they don't, and that the glasses are showing it to him.
Yes.
I think that it's only in his head. Mommy put me on Thorazine, and the glasses went away.
All right, so I think we've examined that to its fullest extent.
Yeah.
I think we can bid the glasses farewell for now.
I'd like to see them make a few returns.
Sure, just sort of throw them in. It'd be cool if they were like in a pile of like junk. You can spot them like as an Easter egg. I'd enjoy that callback for true Sesame Street fans.
Been around since the start, episode 123.
Yeah. That's a big Tumblr community.
OG.
Alright, so after that...
Original Gordon.
Okay, so after that we have... one of these things is not like the other. Another classic. This is a good stretch right here. This time, it's the woman. It's the same woman, but she's just like in a black like void now with the sign of 4 lowercase r's and an uppercase R, capital R, if you will. That goes according to plan. It's a shame. It's a shame that one of the most classic skits there's the least to talk about.
I mean, I think it's important that the things are getting closer. If you remember the first episode, there were 3 2s and a W, you know? It's very apparent which one is different. This time we had 3 lowercase r's and a capital R, you know?
Oh, sure, yeah.
The objects are getting more similar, and so What
Those
the
are only
short-
similar if you already know the concept of them and how they relate. But if you just
Exactly.
don't know what they
Sesame
are and you
Street
look
is
at,
more advanced now.
It's growing up along. It's like Harry Potter. It's growing up along
We're
with
growing
the
up
kids.
with it.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see what this is like in 40 years, when it's like one of these pills is not like the other.
which one is Ritalin? Which one is Vicodin?
Okay, and then we begin one of the longest ongoing recurring scenes. Ernie's waiting for a telephone call, an important call from Bert. Cookie Monster comes along, and he needs to make a quick call, a short call. He's very clear about that. It's going to be a short call. This is another important. This is the second time, like the second case of learning about one of the puppets having siblings or extended family that we haven't met.
In one
Right.
episode.
First, we had Bert's
that this has
sister,
occurred.
who's the llama expert.
Yes.
And then we have Cookie Monster. We learned that his nickname to his mother is Tiny. And then we learn a little later that he's got a brother, Fred Monster.
Does he have? Did I miss that? He's got a.
No, I heard Fred.
Yeah, that's a couple of segments later, but it's so in case you haven't caught on, Cookie Monster does not call for a short time. Calls for a long time to his mother.
And Ernie kind of goes through a couple different stages of agitation.
Right.
Um,
I wonder if you were to give this a close read, if it would be the stages of grief. I wonder.
I mean, at the beginning, God, what's the first one? Anger? Denial?
It could be any of those.
It could be very much. I mean, he was very patient at
Yeah.
first. He was, he tried to do some Freudian slip-ins.
Freudian
like whenever.
slip-ins.
No, yeah, no. Look. He not related to the Freudian slip. What he would do is he would be mumbling to himself next to Cookie Monster on the phone. He'd be like, I'm in a short time. You know, he was trying to put the idea of a short time in Cookie Monster's head, or remind him, in fact, that he was supposed to be on the phone for only a short time.
Only a short time was what he requested.
Not a long
Yeah.
time.
So it cuts between that and other animations. We had a V animation that I've seen before. I believe that was on the previous episode, so none of you have seen it. It was the V with the vampire, the volcano, and the victory.
Vegetable.
Yeah. What did y'all think of that?
It moved around a lot. I'll give it
Mhm.
that. I mean, all the animations kind of do, but it's not. I don't like it as much as the way they introduced W.
Sure, yeah, I agree. I haven't been a fan of this
Maybe
one.
I'm biased because it's W was my first.
Yeah. So then we're back. Ernie's still waiting for Cookie Monster. Same story, getting a little more agitated. After that, we have Bert. It was Buddy and Jim.
Buddy and
Oh, my
Jim.
favorite.
The best Buddy and Jim skit by far yet. So in this scenario, they are trying to get an ironing board into a room through a doorway.
A lot of spatial reasoning stuff with Buddy and Jim.
That's I'll gladly take it if it's more of this stuff, because their solutions to this one in particular are a lot of fun. But it should one of the first things that happens is Buddy is holding the ironing board outside, and then he's like, "I can't get it in, Jim." And as he's telling him that, he's taking it inside to tell him that.
Right.
As to hand it to Jim to let Jim
Right,
try.
he's like, "Hey, look at this. It doesn't work. Take it outside. Try it." Which they do.
To be clear, they're
To be
trying
clear.
to come in with the Iron Bird sideways.
Yes, this is the key issue. Is they haven't
Yeah.
figured out rotation.
Still.
But they have.
First solution.
they
Okay, first solution is cut it in half. That it seems like it's gonna work, because if you cut it in half,
does it?
no.
Does it seem like it's I mean, at first I thought, okay, they're gonna cut it in half, but at least they're gonna get it through the door, right? It's a silly solution, but it's gonna work. They cut it in half lengthwise, so it was still like, it still did not work, despite the ironing board now being in half and unusable.
I'm starting to play my own game with Buddy and Jim, and I wonder how they're gonna screw this up next. because it's got to be hard. That's got to be like fun to write. Like, what's
Yeah.
the? How could you screw this up one more time? They screwed up.
But the next part is the best
Yeah,
part.
they screwed up more than one time. To be clear, after that, there's a lot of good physical stuff in this. I think that's going to be the key to Buddy and Jim succeeding in the future. Because to be honest, I wasn't too big on their skits in the past. I thought they were a little too slow, too repetitive. But I think adding in more like drastic physical measures is going to help. Because the next thing they do is take a sledgehammer and just bash out sides of the door.
To make
I
it
wanna,
bigger.
I want to make it. It's very comical when they pull a prop out because it's not like, oh, here, let me lean down and get this. The first time when they asked for the saw, very large saw, by the way, he goes, hey, can you get me a saw? Very quickly, very out of nowhere, just out of shot, Jim pulls the saw as if he's had it in his hand the whole time,
It was great.
and it's very jarring. Is the way I would, and so it continues with a couple of different things that he does. And finally, with the sledgehammer, it's just coming out of nowhere, and it's very sudden, and he starts putting holes in the wall very quickly.
Yeah, Jim has to like jump out of the way as he swings it. It's really good. So now there's this like there's this perfectly ironing board shaped hole going horizontally. But this isn't the end. This is far from the end to this conundrum. Because they both grab onto it, so it's clearly not going to work because they do not fit the two of them through the door still. But the final solution, this is, I think, their best solution yet because they do ostensibly succeed at their task, unlike in situations. Buddy grabs the ironing board. He's ready to take it through. Just him. It's going to work. Jim picks him up, turns him sideways, so that
Puts him through the hole.
Buddy is being transported through the hole, his head barely scraping along by the holes.
The thing is, it works. It gets the job
Yeah.
done, and that's what we're all about
At
here
what cost?
on Neighborhood Watch. At
The
what
destruction
cost?
of doorway.
Hey, man.
Well, no,
Yeah, they actually talk about that.
An innocent ironing board.
well, they've got to get
They-
their
they-
old ironing board out. That's why. It's fine. Yeah.
Right. It's, problem solved.
The-
Joke's on you, Russ.
But
Oh.
it still destroys the doorway.
Look,
For
that
only
doorway,
one purpose. A doorway has a million other
That
purposes. besides-
doorway only served to hinder them from the beginning.
doorway
you know
is
that as well
alive.
as I do.
It was not alive.
It is inorganic matter is aware. It's involved in energy changes, Michael.
Here's what you don't understand about ironing boards.
What about it? What do I not understand?
I really don't think we have time for this. Can we? Hey,
No, it's
Michael,
the
Mike,
eternal, moist,
can I-
erotic friction
can-
of water
can-
and land.
can I speak to you over here for a second?
Title correct.
Yeah. You two just stay over here. Just I don't know. Write some notes, something like that. Yeah, let's go.
You
Okay.
bet your ass I will.
Look, Russell is catching on. He's no way. He's at. I didn't think he would get this far this fast. I know I vouched for him. I don't think I can stand by anymore. You got to take care of this.
This is on you, man. You brought him in here.
Look, what Russ does and doesn't do isn't my business. What he's catching on to here wouldn't be a problem if you had kept it together. Look, I'm done talking about this. I'm gonna go back. You find a way to handle this.
Fine.
Okay?
Fine. Okay. All right. So, the next scene. The next scene is obviously Ernie and the Cookie Monster in the phone scenario again.
Right.
We're just catching up with them. Nothing's changed. He's still on the phone. He starts counting, which is a good.
From 1, and we later find out it ends at 4,000 roughly.
Yeah. Now we have, and then we have another animal segment. But something's a little different about this animal segment. Mr. Hooper is our guide this time. And what animal has Mr. Hooper chosen?
Whoa.
Crow.
The crow, the majestic crow, symbol of goddamn death. No, for these kids, no more than 6, I would say, in age, all of them. None of them can be older than 6. It's very ominous and uninteresting for kids, I would guess. Where he's like, whoa, what sound does a crow make? And the kids are like, he crows, and he's like, that's right.
Yeah, you don't need to guess if this was interesting to kids or not. The kids were clearly not interested.
What's your favorite part?
But,
Makes it interesting for them.
What's your favorite part about the crow, Sally? He flies. It's really, it's kind of
they
depressing.
can't come up with anything else that a crow does.
It was flies and then like his color.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those were the 2 things that the kids found interesting about it, and that was
What
it.
is his color?
Black.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mr. Hooper's doing his best to convey the majesty of the crow, but to no avail, because he doesn't even let the crow fly. Like, that's how I wanted this to end. I wanted the crow to fly away, or like onto his arm or something at least, like show off like a little training. I don't know.
Oh, the accent that Mr. Hooper has. You kids want to take a look at the crow, maybe? It's really good. It's like earlier we saw him handing out singular jelly beans to these kids. He's definitely building old man persona for himself. Of like maybe in the 20s, sitting in a room staring at a crow would have been massively interesting. These are new age kids. They're not all about any of this nonsense, Grandpa.
I really hope.
Uh-huh.
I really hope that Mr. Hooper just sort of stays in his like old-timey stasis as we go on.
I hope he's in the new episode.
I hope so too.
It's up to date, and he's just like 106.
Okay, so after that is the eating song. This was weird.
Mm.
This was really weird. Not as weird as it gets. But
Right?
Eating is important for nutrition. That's not. I'm paraphrasing, but that's about what the song equates to.
it really covers like the entire spectrum of anything eating. It's like eating makes you grow big unless you're small.
In which case you will grow small, but that's okay because you're eating.
Eating grows your wings and everything else.
You gotta always aim for some level of personal growth. Even if you're small, you can still eat more. Then suddenly, it all changes. The play has started, and we are puppets in that old cosmological drama.
We are the puppets.
Yeah.
Who's the puppet master?
Riddle me this, puppet man.
We are. The means of production are in the hands of the proletariat. We own the puppets. We own ourselves. Self-liberation.
The way I see this, it's almost.
This is our segment. The way I see it with Jared.
Welcome back. The way I see it, it's almost tying it into the bath scene that we've seen before. Everything can be cleansed, right?
That makes a return in this episode too.
Hey, this is my segment.
Oh shit! Sorry. Go.
It kind of plays into that where on the surface it seems like it's teaching these kids about basic human functions of you need to eat, you need to wash yourself, this is how you function as a human being. But in the cleansing segment, everything can be cleansed kind of takes on this darker tone. I think the same can be said for you need to eat. Back to the obey thing that we've brought in before of eat, sleep, wake up, hail. It's kind of they're introducing the foundation for teaching these fundamental existences, and eventually they're going to be teaching things like obey your superiors as a part of that fundamental. In the same
laying the groundwork for Nazi. Sorry, this is how you say
exactly. Yeah, this is how I see it, and that's how I see it. What you've said right there, I think. it's laying down the foundation for fascism. I feel like, wait, hey, Russ, did you change this teleprompter? This wasn't the script that I wrote.
No, it's all good, man. No,
I don't talk about.
no, that's the truth.
Russ, are you tampering with our show materials?
Hey, man, this is a peaceful
Okay,
demonstration.
look,
I ain't got
look, Russ. I'm just
my
gonna
hands
move on.
are up.
And Russ, I'm just gonna pretend like this didn't happen. We're gonna keep going. This segment didn't happen this week. I'm done.
This is strike 2, Russ.
You watch.
We can't keep doing this. We're trying to run a professional
Listen, man,
program here.
I'm just trying to let these people know what's going on here because they say that it's just about keeping good habits. But then you know what? Hitler didn't run for being leader of Germany on the
All
platform.
right, you know what? I'm done with this.
First he was just saying you gotta clean yourself. Then he led to the Jews.
Okay.
Then the concentration camps come next. I'm just saying, where does it end? This is a slippery slope. Sesame Street is on a hill. It's going down a slope. It is raining. It is slippery. This is a slippery slope.
Russ, we're done here. If you want to keep spouting your proselytizing, get your own podcast. All right?
You know what? Maybe I will.
All right. That should take care of that.
All right.
All right. I'm sorry, folks. I didn't really plan on having to do that, but you know, we the show's got to go on, and folks like Russell, he doesn't respect the production. But we can finish this up, just us two, us three, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we get to one of my favorite segments in this one. It's the unsung beauty of manhole covers.
Of course.
I'm not making this up, folks. It's the most like, I want to describe it as like sincere is the way I put it, because it's about manhole covers.
They're not
cool they are.
They're not messing around.
There's no songs, there's no counting, there's no alphabet.
Sure.
It's just, here's all the cool things about manhole covers, and I'm on board with every single one of these things.
There's nothing special about that.
What?
They didn't.
They're so cool.
They took it off, and that was it. And then we went on to something else.
There were Beatles.
Yeah.
I don't think that I fully understand the prevalence of the Beatles.
So,
It could be a social commentary on the band. I don't know if I would see it that way, but I'm sure there are like Beatle fans out there that would. This was a plug in the end here.
I think we would have been in the midst of Beatlemania when this aired.
In the midst of, I think so. So maybe that's what Sesame Street was trying to lay a separate foundation. This one for the Beatles more than fascism, of building them this fan base.
That's a sure. In any case, manhole covers, I am a staunch defender of them as an artistic set piece.
Definitely. There were a lot of things, especially like they started with a broad close up of the manhole cover, and then like slowly zoomed down. And at first, I thought it was a maze. I thought it was just a labyrinth that these kids were gonna run through. I'm like, oh my god! And then they revealed it to be a manhole cover, and for whatever reason, they had the kids just kind of with jars of Beatles that they would release into the maze, the labyrinth of the manhole cover.
Frightening close-ups of the Beatles, by the way.
Definitely scarily close. Look, I kind of feel bad for this whole Russ thing. I'm pretty sure he was an expert on Beatles, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, that's why we brought him on in the first place. He was gonna, because Beatles do come up. Do you want me to go outside and get him?
Yeah, he's had enough time.
All right. You can come on in.
Hey guys.
Hey, we were just talking about Beatles.
What were you
Do you want to
talking
lend
about?
us your expertise about Beatles, Russ?
Okay, well, they're the most numerous insect. The Latin name is Coleoptera, that's Latin for sheathed wing.
Oh.
Or is it Greek? I don't know. It's a name.
So what's that classic connection that we all know between Beatles and manhole covers? Can you explain the
So the
essence
classic
of
connection. Are you familiar with the myth of like the maze with the bowl dude in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the
Hold it,
beetle
Frank.
is like that. Yeah, and you go through, and that's a labyrinth to keep us trapped. And
Right.
what is that beetle's name? Will you tell us?
Man.
Wrong. That beetle's name is capitalism. That beetle's name is imperialism. That beetle's name
Right.
is fascism. It goes by all these
Of course,
names. It is
classic.
greed. It is a dollar. It is the U.S.
Yes.
dollar, not based on silver or gold, but based on blood. The blood of our
Right.
contemporary ancestors in
Definitely.
Africa.
Absolutely.
That's all.
Yeah, I'll give it that. And I think it really transitions well into, they've got. Do you remember how the segment ended, Michael?
I don't.
I think it
Great.
just stopped.
I'm pretty sure it was just sudden, and then they went into, it was either V or something else. Some very sudden, like, it just moved straight into the next segment.
Right, that's where the V animation showed up. You're right.
Right, yeah, no, it just went right into V's, and it was kind of like, okay, guess we're doing that now.
After that, we're back in the apartment with the woman, that apartment that I was fond of a couple episodes back.
Right.
We're learning about rectangles this time. She's pointing out different things around the room. Again, the kids in this episode really just getting in the adults' way.
Do you think this was during the 1970s, the kids strike, the child actor strike they had?
Oh, you know what? I didn't even consider that. You think this was a protest, an on-air protest?
Yeah, and the thing is, I think that this is more of a tribute to Gordon, how well he handled it. He knows there's a strike going on. That's massive political tensions. That's not something he wants to put on the kid viewership, and so he rolls with it, and it's noble what he does there.
Yeah, it's not quite as strong a showing in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the tension between the two parties get a little heated as she tries to make her way across the line.
Right.
And they just won't get out of the way, which
will not move.
Not until a subtle beep beep.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Subtle.
Mm-hmm.
That was an aggressive beep beep. If anything, whilst making her way to the what's it shelf, or whatever,
The what's it shelf,
whatever she called it. She, the kids are just kind of in the way there, and beep 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 beep. I think that's her warning symbol. If she starts beeping, you get out of the way. You don't want to get in between her and her destination.
After that, this was a landmark episode for abstract live action
Definitely
little short movies. So we had a rectangle themed sort of like urban, how would you even describe this? It's like an art project kind of thing. Either that or it's a production like demo for a new camera's zoom feature.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so biggest thing, shots of the city, right?
Yeah.
They had various industrial themed kind of slice of life, but it took a very horrifying tone in my eyes. Yeah, I don't know. Russ?
I'm cool with it.
It definitely flashed a couple signs that said dead.
Yep. Those were lots of dead, lots of like
right,
just brands.
Oh, the brands, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I saw Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That was a sign.
Surprised we didn't get any Beatles in there.
Bad movie.
Bad, terrible. 2 out of 10. But anyway, it was very. I feel like, we've talked a lot about space filling. That was the epitome of we need 10 more minutes.
It really was. And I'm not even sure this was like a good 10 minutes because like I enjoyed it, but I'm not sure like what a kid. I feel like this would get them like really amped up and like on edge because it's very abrasive.
Yes.
The musical track that goes along with it that really follows, which I do respect. It follows a very clean 3-act structure, which goes to show how long this thing was.
This was actually the hero's journey that they were.
Yeah.
It was like something straight out of Koanascati.
Definitely.
It's adjacent to that.
For sure.
Kowalski adjacent. I wouldn't go so far as to call it. Anyway.
Very Scotsy-esque.
I feel like it was the test footage for the new camera. They were testing all the different features, motion blur, zoom, bunch of crazy old things. And eventually they just kind of made their way around to, all right, let's edit this into something that they would think is cohesive. But what you consider cohesive at 3 a.m, the day before the airing of the show, is definitely different from what a kid will perceive it as.
Do you think this is like the intern team? Like they were given they were finally given like, okay guys, we're gonna give you like a 7-minute slot.
Solid
on
segment.
Sesame Street. Yep. Just give us something. And they were like, oh, we're gonna make it this crazy avant-garde rectangle themed
Dead,
industrial.
left, right, obey.
Dead.
there was a lot of like, there were these 2 arrows, or it was just one arrow sign, and then they would flip the shot around very rapidly. So left, right, and then some more brands. If you had some form of epilepsy or ADHD, there's no way you would be able to follow this.
Absolutely not. Then we finally get to the wrap-up of the Ernie and Cookie Monster dilemma.
Mm.
His short call with his mother is over. So, but his time with the phone is not.
Right.
Because it's lunchtime for Cookie Monster. So he eats the phone. He eats the phone.
He eats the phone.
The receiver, specifically.
Yeah.
So that when Bert ultimately does call, which is immediately after, of course, you hear an echo within Cookie Monster's stomach. This sucked because there was no payoff. We don't know what the call was about.
He talked to Bert a little bit. He had Cookie Monster open his mouth, and he was holding the conversation like that.
It was a cliffhanger, though. We don't know what he said. Like, they said hello, and he's like, and Ernie's like, what is it? And then it cuts away.
Maybe this was like what Bert said next. Like the guy who voiced Bert was drunk, and so he was like, fuck! And so like, we can't put that. So they cut it.
It just said improvise something you would say on the phone. just screw the pooch.
It's like when your friend is on the phone with his mom, and you're like, hey, Colby, where do you want the cocaine that you ordered? Like so as to make the person on the other end. Yeah, it was like that. There's like in the script, it was like, oh, say something, and he was like hookers, and they were like, ugh.
So, and then we get the shower scene again from the first episode.
Classic.
That makes a return. For some reason, they thought that was good to bring back in episode 1, 2, 3.
That's the one. That's how we do it here on Sesame Street.
I can't imagine how many times that's been repeated in the episodes we haven't watched yet. If it's still making a return in 123. Oh, boy.
Everything can be cleansed.
They make up for it, though, because the final scene, their wrap-up scene, Gordon, I can only imagine they brought all the actors to a set, and they gave them a prop, and they said, come up with an ending.
It was a newspaper that they had. and it was very, like Gordon clearly was making on the spot. It was like, I forget exactly what he said, but it was something along the lines of, hey, guys, read what this says right here. It says go goodbye. And they were like, go what? Go goodbye. And he's like, oh,
the actors caught on real quick.
I mean, say goodbye. Oops.
It was a very good job by the other actors to make sure that the take that Gordon messes up his line is the one that they use. That's the way I interpreted it.
I'd like to think that was about an hour before airtime. They're like, we don't have time to. We can't do this again. We got to get this to post right now.
It was great because so they wrap it up. They go goodbye with Mr. Hooper and Gordon and his wife, and that was the end of episode 123.
Oh, classic.
What did y'all think, Jared?
Let's give it like a B out of 5.
Solid B out of 5. Okay. Danielle, what was your first experience with an actual Sesame Street episode? What's your takeaway?
It was definitely more like trippy than I thought it would be, especially towards the end.
Yeah.
It was good.
Do you want to watch more?
Yeah.
Would you watch more on your own time, or are you gonna go?
I don't know about my own time.
Oh,
Mm.
not a true fan.
Yeah, okay. And not on my own time. All right.
And Russ, how about you?
I think they need to bring back, what was her name? Mahalia Jackson?
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise it's just...
Yes,
I
that
feel like before, so if you recall in the episode we watched previously, there was some sort of rogue writer or something that's subverting this fascist system from the inside.
Yeah.
I think they found the mole and they got him out of there, because this was just all propaganda from start to finish.
Right.
That's as good a takeaway as any from episode 123.
It's honestly kind of how I've been looking at this whole series.
It's certainly one lens through which Sesame Street is going to be viewed on this show moving forward. After this, the 4th episode of Neighborhood Watch. Thanks for listening, everyone. And thanks for joining me, you guys. Yeah. We're going to be back next week.
Yeah.
With a new episode.
All right.
I have not been caught yet.
See you later.
So do we just keep talking while the fade out happens, or? Like
Yeah,
this?
sure. It'll be like, we can pretend like we're friends.
Ah,
You know.
hey, how's the life?
Oh,
Yeah. What a treat.
God,
Good
I don't
one.
think it's fading out. Okay, look. I press the button
How do
again.
you work this thing?
How do you? Oh, there we go. Hey.
of course.
You guys want to grab a cup of Joe?
Yeah, Joe's the best.
Wait, who's Joe?